Welcome all. Good evening. For those who are in Bangalore and managed to reach on time to attend this podcast here. So basically, today we have with us Mr. Bharadwaj Rao, whom we very fondly call Bharatji. So welcome you all. So this is one of the important things which we have started since yesterday. Yesterday we started off with one of the persons. I mean that person being me, the interview series, and today we have Mr. Bharadwaj. So welcome, Bharatji.
Welcome, Shivam. Good evening.
Good evening. So I let us talk a little bit about the agenda of the meeting here. So these are the interview series where we are going to engage closely with a few of the professionals engaged in various professional activities. Let's say they could be someone from scientific community, they can be someone from IT industry. There are we have chosen people so who are some of them from fashion industry. There are people who are entrepreneurs. So you can tune into this channel every day. I think we have planned it every day, Bharatji, right?
Yes.
9 o'clock.
9 to 10 this May. So we've
Yes,
every night.
every night 9 o'clock. So yeah, Bharatji, let us start off.
Yeah. Just to add to that, as you mentioned, it was yesterday. I mean, we are both partnering into this. Sharaji and me, we are interviewing a lot of people. So yesterday it was Sharaji's turn for people who could not join. He is a senior principal scientist in NAL working in the aerospace domain. So the idea of this series, as Sharaji mentioned, is to introduce different professions from different backgrounds to people, for children who are growing up, who are in the path where they are at a stage where they will be choosing careers as they grow up and getting into different domains. So we wanted to expose as many professions as we know within our community of people and the parents that we know and people from outside, so that the children also are aware of what other options are there than the commonly heard terminologies of engineer, doctor, scientists or whatever, right? So we have a lot of commonly known professions. We want to bring as many of them as possible, and also for the common professions that we have heard of, we want to make sure that we get a little bit deeper into it and understand what does a day in life look like for these professionals. So it is just not about, oh, okay, there is somebody in the IT, it means they're sitting and coding. Somebody is a scientist doesn't mean that he's working in the lab with a coat and test tubes and chemicals, right? So we wanted to break those stereotypes, also make sure that we expose as many careers as possible. What does it take for a person to be there? What do they do in their day-to-day life? How are these careers evolving, and what is it that it looks like in the future for these careers for children who are planning to get into any one of them? And this interactive series, it's going to be more of discussion, and also we will open it up for people who are in the audience to ask any questions, share anything that they have. So it's going to be more of an interaction that we're going to have. So it's not like we talk, you listen. It's we all talk to each other. And yeah,
Yeah,
Sharaji,
Bharatji. Thank you for pitching in there. Lot more points were added by you. I'm sure our audience has got the glimpse of what is coming for them in the next 30 to 40 minutes or so. So, yeah, Bharatji. So please tell us about yourself. Just to start off, we call you Bharatji. I used to call you Bharatji, the Bharat wala Bharatji. And then it took a while for me to understand, oh, okay, it is Bharadwaj Rao. So
yeah,
from there, knowing you was there, I wanted to know more about, little bit personal, just to touch upon it, and then we go into the professional side of yours.
sure. So yeah, my name is Bharadwaj Rao. That's my first name, last name. Both of them sound to be last names for people coming from north of India. So Bharadwaj is a last name. Rao is also a last name. But for me, Bharadwaj is the first name. Rao is the last name. And while all of these confusions were happening in my friend circle, people shortened it to call me Bharat. So that's how the name stuck on, and that's what I go by. Based in Bangalore, raised here, and father of two, and I'm in a job for the last 20 years plus now. If I
Wow.
count the official ones, 20 years plus the ones that are unofficial goes a little beyond that. And what I do, I currently my job title says I'm the head of product solutions. I work in a IT product company which is headquartered in US and Switzerland, dual headquarters. And it's a product company. We deal with the most fancy terms that we people hear about these days, machine learning, AI, intelligence, and stuff, data. So that's
Oh,
what we do as a company, as a profession. And I lead a team which is into making the product usable by our customers, bringing value of the product to the customers is what we do. So I deal with products and people. So that's me in
wow,
a
that's a
nutshell.
it's not a nutshell, it's a very big introduction. For the people who are listening, uh, I hope most of them are aware of these terms, the product development. So many terms were used by you. So I will just catch one of the terms, Bharatji, here. It's called product development. What do you mean by product development? Did you reach there accidentally, or did you plan to reach it there, or you had a long-term vision behind it? What was it? Just a little bit insight into it.
Sure, yeah. Product development is not something that I'd heard of when I chose to do this. It's an interesting story of how I got into the field of computer science also, right? So I think it was sixth standard is when I remember it vaguely, sixth or seventh standard, because high school I remember very clearly, but it was fifth or sixth standard at that time when we were first introduced to computers in our school. So I had a very good friend of mine who was going to a computer class. He knew a thing or two about computers, and the teachers who came to start teaching us computers those days, right, to explain us what does a computer mean, what does this dabba looking box looking thing do, and all of that. So they were teaching us all of that, and then in one of the classes, the computer teacher asked my friend to insert or remove a floppy from one of the CPUs and turn it
Okay,
on.
I'll interrupt you here. For all of you who don't know what floppy is, floppy, like it's like something like a pen drive, which is a very miniature form of a floppy. Floppy is huge. It used to be some 3.5 inches size of a device which used to enter like a CD. In fact, many may not know what CD is also nowadays.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Bharati, please continue. Your friend
Three and
came.
a half, this 5.5 inch floppy that I'm talking about, the big ones.
Oh, the bigger one.
The bigger one. So five and a half inch
Oh.
floppy, the pieces look like suitcases filled with the 20 kgs of luggage. So that is when I'm talking about this. I'm old, yes. So this was way, way long back when PCs were 386. It didn't have this fancy looking monitors. It was huge boxes. So that is what it was. And he was given the task. And because he was a very close friend of mine, I asked him, can I do it? Can you tell me how to do it? He did not let me touch the computer. He said, no, no, you don't know how to do these things. Let me do it. He just literally hit me on my hand and said, don't touch it. So that was a moment, I think it, not traumatic or whatever. It became something as a challenge for me to say, if I do something in my life, I'm going to do something with computers. So I think that is when it happened, unknowingly or knowingly. And then I happened to get into my studies, which was major in computer science. And then I got into a job. I didn't start off with the product design. I started off with product support, helping people troubleshoot issues of what they have with software. And then I went into testing, and then I went into different careers of technically selling a product, helping people implement the solution. Then I became an administrator, and then I got into non-technical functions. And that is where I started realizing what a product means. Why does anybody build,
Yes.
create something? Because there is a need, there is a problem to solve. People need to understand what others are looking for, what is the problem that they have, and to build a solution that's going to fix or solve that problem. So that is where I got introduced to the world of products. And then I got intrigued with it and then started learning more and then landed as what I am doing today. So I started off as a solutions guy and then landed as a product manager and then got into product solutions. So that's quite a journey.
Yeah.
It's all discovery that happened in.
Bharatji, I sorry to interrupt there. Was there something you wanted to complete?
No, no, that was a journey. I mean, for me, product development was
Okay.
something I didn't know. As I started working in the field, discovering more and more, and then I started on the other end of the spectrum. People who are using it and what I can solve their problem to going and creating products that people will use. That is how it became a journey for me.
Yeah. So it brings me to my next question, actually, going by what you just explained, product.
Mhm.
What is this product? Is it like a cricket ball? Is it like some box? Is it a laptop? What do you mean by product in your job? I'm sure it's something like this or something different. I wanted to know. It's just curiosity question.
Great. this is exactly what also a lot of people would like to understand, right? When you say product, in a normal terminology, product is product, right? I mean, something that I can touch, feel, see, like a mouse or a laptop is
Exactly.
product. Again, though it is IT related, it's a product. A laptop, a router, a mouse, a keyboard, though it is all IT related, those are all products. Even a software that runs behind these hardware is also called a product. So, what product I am talking about is a software which kind of enables the hardware to run smoothly and make the life of people who are using that hardware simpler. So it's a software that puts people and machines together. So that's what uh, our product does. And there's a lot of products like that. The operating system that you're using, Zoom is a product. It's an application. It's a product. So we have a
Right, right.
product, as I mentioned, puts people and machines to work together.
So all those apps which we see in our mobile nowadays, which we so easily press with one finger, and doesn't care about what went behind it, even that is what a product would mean, right?
Yeah, that's also a product. And when you talk about it, right, when maybe we can get into the details of it if somebody is interested to know more. A lot happens there. Starting from the size of the icon, how you place it, how you touch, every single thing is thought about. How a user will interact, what would they look at, where
Wow.
should I place what button, how should the function happen, how should people use it. The entire user journey is considered when you build any product for that matter, be it a physical product or a software. So there's a lot that happens behind it, like you rightly said.
So in your interview in the beginning, you told that you were not a product developer when you
Yeah.
joined.
Mhm.
You were something else as you started. You started with something else. But then what is it that, motivated you to come here where you are right now? Is it just by chance? Is it the luck? You just flowed with the flow, or there was something other than that?
Uh-huh. Good question, actually. So when I landed my first job, I was just looking for a job. I didn't know what profile I'll start with, but I knew it's something that's going to happen, which will be related to the computer science field because that's what was my academic qualification as well. And as I told you, I started off as a product support engineer, where we were trying to troubleshoot issues of what a user will face when they're using a product. So, as and when I started doing it more and more and started learning it and started speaking to people who are complaining, I started learning, okay, maybe there is some way that this product should have been configured. People are not doing it well. Maybe there is a feature that if it was there, this problem wouldn't have happened. So that is how this started. And then I started, that is the reason I got into the next profile of mine, which was a quality engineering, where I started looking at what are the places where these features fail so that the tickets do not come to us as a support issue. And then from there, I understood the product and started talking to people about how they should use a product, how you should configure, how you should do it. So that became my next career where I became a product consultant or started to implement it the right way. That is where again another discovery or knowing happened, saying, okay, the products that are built today and the people who are using it are not in the equation. They're not on the same page. People what they look for and what people have built are not matching 100%. So we should build solutions that
Hmm.
actually solves the problem of the people. And that is what got me interested in the field of products to say, okay, let me understand what the problems are. Should it be solved, first of all? If it is solved, is there a better way? That is when I started looking and getting more interested in product management, learned a lot about it. I do not develop, I don't write the code, though I have studied it for 4 years in engineering. I am really bad at writing a piece of code, but I can think of how a program should be written. I could give instructions to make that happen, but I myself am really bad at structured programming because for me somehow the syntax never sat into my head. Yeah, so I don't develop it, but I understand what the problem is, come back and give a design requirement to my team, which goes back and starts building the product that it's supposed to be. So that is how this whole product management thing happened to me. So I don't know if I answered that question, but
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah, you answered the question because it's very, very important for all of us to understand. In fact, for the students more so,
Mhm.
that even though you are bad at programming, I mean, if any students are there, please listen to this very carefully. You might not be that great in programming, understanding those nitty-gritties of an algorithm and so many syntaxes, but you can still use or make an IT product, which is nothing but an app or some application for softwares. You can still do it, guys. So now I'll ask you one very difficult question, Baraji.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to ask you, like, we learned so many things in school, right?
Uh-huh.
Starting from, let's say, very basic physics, chemistry, there's that, so many things. Right now, where you are, or in this journey of your, wherever you've reached,
Uh-huh.
is it something you attribute anything to whatever you learned in school?
Mm-hmm.
Those any subjects which are in direct use here and which you can attribute.
Some of the subjects, yeah, we learned a lot. We learned physics, chemistry, biology, zoology, botany, whatever. So those things about uh, biology, definitely not. Chemistry, not in the profession or the job that I am in. To a level, and knowledge helps because we deal with products. When I said hardware products, we deal with silicon, understanding the material, which material is a good conductor, which material should be used for this kind of heat resistance or whatever, right? Which should be fireproof. So we need to know about those things. That fundamental knowledge definitely helps. Am I doing it in the day-to-day life? Maybe not me, not in my position or profile that I am in, but a lot of people in IT who design these silicon chips, the CPUs that they make, the memory chips, and the LCDs, maybe they are using all of those things. For me, those things were not really essential in this career, but what really is something that I carried forward is all the languages that we learned. English helped me a lot, so I can communicate with people.
Yeah.
Learning about different concepts of what all can be done is something that is applicable. And a part of what we learned in engineering, specializing in computer science to understand what operating system means, how a display works, those things helps. Though I don't do it on a day-to-day basis, but having the background of understanding what that means and how to apply it is something that is an addition. So fundamentals did help, but not it's not the 100% of what I do. It may be
Right.
25-30% of the foundation plus all the other things that has to happen on top of it.
Yeah. So all the other things, whatever
Yes.
the all the other things, where would you like to put it? Let's say technical things, whichever we learn in school, the subject knowledge, let's call them technical.
Hmm.
The non-technical, let's say 70% of what you are using and what made you what you are today.
Mhm.
What would you call those things? What would you, which
Yeah.
box would you like to put it?
So technical, yeah. So all of this coding languages and all of just a second, I have some intruders here. Just a second.
No issues. So while you deal with them, I would like to ask anyone, any student over here, if they would want to ask something which is very pressing, which they would not want to keep for a little longer, after this question, we would give a little time for them for asking Baraji any question which they are intrigued with.
Yeah.
So yeah, Baraji, you were telling us about the other things apart from technical thing. What is it that other thing you have done, right? The right thing which you have done, which has made you what you are today.
I did, or I was supposed to do, or I had to do it, is what it comes down to. So what happened is, as I told you, right, my journey that started off, which was really technical. I used all the technical skills that I had learned in my academics, but then if I had to scale up and start doing something more, I had to learn a lot of other things, which are the soft skills, right? So as I mentioned,
Yeah,
talking to people, understanding why are they even having this problem, understanding and knowing from them the communication part of it, right? What are they trying to say? What is the problem that they're trying to express? Understanding that part of it, thinking of it from their perspective, putting yourself in their shoes, empathy part of it, and then being able to. When I got into the product part of it, what happens is you cannot just go and build any product in the company. There are people
right.
who are investing because if I have to tell a team of 7 engineers who are sitting and developing something to make them do something, it's money at the end of the day. We have to pay for them. If the product that we are building is of no use, we are wasting the money of and time of all those engineers. So you have to convince the people who are going to fund the projects that you're going to build by telling a story of what is the problem that is there, why should we solve it, what is the benefit that we get. So those things were the core essential for me to get into the product. So for me, the learning that I had to do was to get into communication, articulation, storytelling, trying to address the problem of the people in the way that they can understand. So that is something that I had to pick up and learn. I had to pick up and learn information, or rather knowledge about how to work with people from different cultures, because we are
Mm.
used to working with our own people. We've spent pretty significant amount of time in education in whatever we do, right? Till we finish our degree, it's quite a long journey. So we keep interacting with only one kind of people, from majority only from one region. But when you get into a profession, you deal with people from different age, different backgrounds, different cultures. So that is another thing that I was forced to learn. I had to learn how to interact with people, what is their culture, how to talk to them, what may offend them compared to the other people whom for them it's casual. Speaking to an American versus speaking to somebody in Japan is completely different. So
Mm.
those are the kind of things that we were pushed into, and I had to learn it. It was an essential skill to pick up. So those things are the ones for me in my job that is predominant. I think that 70%, 30% is technical.
Wow. So, I mean, this is very essential for someone to note down, what you learn at school. I'm not talking about what soft skills you learn at school. The technical education which you undergo in a school curriculum may contribute to 20-30%. Rest, 70% can be definitely attributed to the soft skill which you learn along the way.
Yes.
Am I right, Bharatji, with that? Yeah. So that brings me to another question. Have you ever felt that you need to constantly upgrade yourself, keep learning? You always has to be like a child, curious to learn the new thing. Have you felt that in your profession?
Yes. So the dream or imagination that we had was that once you're done with your engineering, there are no more exams. You don't have to study. You're done. You're sorted for life. No more questions, no more answers. You just go and use what you've learned already. But that was not true. Every single day is an exam. So every single day you are thrown a challenge that you are not prepared of. Every single question that comes is out of syllabus because you have not learned it, studied it, knew about it. So it is always a constant learning. So every day you need to pick up something to be relevant in the evolution of technology that's happening, the needs that are coming in. So you need to keep updating. So even as of last week, I had to complete a course and learn something about new technology. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
always because you go in front of a customer, they might be ahead of you. They are looking at the future to say, I am going to do this in the next 5 years. How is your solution going to help me? So you need to know those things so that you can talk about it. So you need to keep on upskilling yourself. That's a need of every single day.
Yeah, so this is very important to note, I think, for everyone that the learning shouldn't stop. Actually, it never stops. You are the one who can put a full stop to it, but otherwise, learning cannot stop at all.
Right.
And with this, I would like to ask people who are with us if they have any question to ask Bharatji. Feel free to ask. We want to make this session more of an interaction rather than just one dialogue happening between both of us. So please, any one of you, you can just, unmute yourself and ask your question. Go ahead. Can we have anyone?
Maybe I just wanted to ask how many people here knew the term called product management? Maybe
Yeah,
if people knew what it means, it's a good place to start. You can put your answers in the chat. I think chat is also open.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, Bharatji, the question is mine. This is Meerama here.
Uh,
So, so um, I know you very well, and I know that through your growing years, you really had a lot of involvement with a lot of extracurricular activities. This I know. So, I've seen that starting from drums to biking to photography to you name it, and you would have done it.
in a way,
Do
yeah.
you, this question I've never asked you in your day-to-day life because I don't know you from your as in your professional personality, right?
Mhm.
So when you step into your work every day,
Uh-huh.
have you ever made a connection of all those things that you did, the big gang of friends you had, and everything that you've done?
Mhm.
Anything that is a takeaway from there that you apply daily in your life?
Actually, a lot, man. I mean, it's a very thought-provoking question. Everything comes back actually. Whatever, let's take for example, photography. We used to frame. I mean, I used to learn this and started practicing. So if you have to make a picture appealing and look nice, you have to have the right composition, have to have the right frame, right to have the person or the object in the right place, and all of those things. That comes back in the design thing that we do. In the product, how should it look? What kind of color should be there? Where should the right things be placed? That comes back if I can think about it. And then the big gang of friends that I had, the kind of interactions with different people from different kind of a mindset, that comes back because I deal with a lot of people in my day to day. I spend, I think, 50-60% of my time talking to people than doing work, which is a part of it. So that collaboration or talking to people, handling conflicts in situations, that comes back, and that uh, background of having so many friends from different places and different things, that comes back if I have to relate to it. I don't think you can, pull out your profession and your personal journey out and say, okay, I'm different here, I'm different there. All of these things we have done in life kind of trickles into your profession, and we use it on a day-to-day basis. And most of it comes back.
Okay. Yes, I always felt there would be a connection because I haven't had that experience of working in a professional capacity, but I felt that whatever you do apart from academics in throughout growing life, you know, even a gang of friends makes a
Yeah,
lot of difference to how you work today.
absolutely. I mean, now that you asked me that, I'm kind of trying to recollect this. I was a shy guy. I mean, though I had a lot of friends, I used to go and spend a lot of time with people. Whenever I was asked to present something in front of my own friends gang in the college, even I'm talking about when I was in engineering, I used to find a reason to bunk the class that day and run away. I mean, everybody knew me so well. I was not able to go and speak up on the stage. I could not stand there and face my own friends and talk about a simple, uh, whatever topic it is, very close. But I think the place where I broke out of that is when I wanted my own pocket money. I started doing the small gig works when I go and, stand in the petrol bunk and distribute flyers. I go to shops and put stickers out there and talk to them, and those kind of small gig works that I did. And then somehow I got into this chain marketing, whatever. Somebody lured me into it, luring me into all the big money that is there, because of which I started talking to a lot of people. I think that kind of helped me in my profession, because right now all that I do is talk to people. So I think that shyness, if it had not broken because of these things, I wouldn't have been able to be where I am in my professional journey, at least.
So is that how the stand-up comedian inside you was born?
Also, because that helps a lot when you have a very tense situation and you need to diffuse it. Humor helps a lot. So I think that is also another angle that came out because of it.
Can I go for one more question, Sharadji?
Yeah, ma, please, please. We would like to have more interesting questions.
I don't know because meeting you all in your professional capacity is like getting to know you all from the beginning once again for me. So this is a very curious journey for me as well. I think I wanted a but if Bharatji can just grade, just pick a number from on the scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest.
Mhm.
The role of being a peaceful and successful family man to success in career. Is there a connection? If yes, can you rate it from 1 to 10?
If I can go beyond 10, I would go beyond 10. It is, it is,
Awesome.
it is a 10. It's definitely a 10, because this is, you can't balance things otherwise. All your energy will have to be invested somewhere where you cannot focus on things. Having a harmony is the most essential. So yeah, it's definitely a 10, or even beyond that.
Okay, that was essential for me to know because my work is my family. It's never been different. So I
Mhm.
wanted to know how it is for somebody who goes out and works and then you also have a family and how does those two connect?
Yeah.
So yeah, that those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mirama. Yeah, anyone else would like to ask Bharatji any question? Yeah, I think
Yeah, I see your
I
view.
have
parents
a
here also,
question
right?
to ask, Bharatji.
Sorry?
I have a question to ask.
Yeah, yeah, please.
If no one else is asking, I'll go ahead. I give another 10 seconds. If someone is interested, please go ahead. Let's make it more interactive.
Mhm. If not, we have our way of picking our volunteers. Let's get to that. You, you, you had a question, Sharad. You wanted to ask something?
Yeah, I was, as you were answering to Mirama, I just got a thought. Were there any surprise elements? In a sense, of course, the job which you are in right now would have had, every moment would have been a surprise element. But any major surprise element, you would have thought, "Ki, this is what my job is about." But no, you reached there and it was 180 degree. Any surprise element like that?
Yeah, I mean, how do I put it? Yes, if I have to, you know, think about it, as I was talking about, right? We thought finish your engineering, exams are done.
No.
Then we got into a profession where we had to learn every single day to say, oh, I need to learn this, I need to learn that, I need to do this. I thought the other surprise that happened is the higher you go on the ladder, lesser you'll need to know about things because there are people to manage it. People will do, just tell them and they'll do it. But the surprising factor is higher you go, more you need to know because you have more people to manage doing 100 different things. You need to do a lot more. So that was just a surprise. Like, oh, okay, I was better off knowing doing lesser things. Now that you go up, you need to know a lot more. So that was a surprise for me. I thought all the managers were sitting there and they just tell things to people and people will go and manage. They don't know, they don't need to really spend much. But then you have to scale up. You need to learn more. You need to be always updated. You need to manage people. So that was a managing people again was a surprise. I thought, oh, it'll be easy. I just have to tell them and they'll do it. But emotions, like to ask, to add to what Ma was asking earlier, people come from different setting every single day into the office. Somebody might be having a very happy morning. They'll just land there and everything is smooth. But some people could be having a very tough personal life which they don't really open up because everybody thinks that in a profession you cannot be emotional, you cannot, be yourself, and they try to suppress it, and that rubs into their work in a way or other. They are not efficient, they cannot think straight, they keep making the same mistakes that they know that they should not be making, and they miss out small details. This is something that actually is a burden that they're carrying back from their personal life into work, which doesn't really come out unless you probe and ask. And in this generation, right, you cannot even ask personal questions to people. It's forbidden. Earlier, it used to be having personal conversation was a part of it, but now it is not that easy to talk to people because of the different generations that they are with. So you cannot just go and personally ask them, "Hey, how was your day? Are you having any issues in family?" You cannot really ask them.
Right.
You need to build trust so that they open up and talk to you. That was
Yeah.
surprising. How much of what happens in the personal life actually impacts the work. That's something that I learned as I started managing people as well. So a lot of things. There are always curveballs.
So
that
that's a very good point you make here, Varji. It's never a one-dimensional world. It's not that you have done education, qualification, experience, and now you, like a machine, you churn out numbers. It doesn't happen like that. This is what you are trying to emphasize here. There's a human side to all of us.
yeah.
So yeah,
At the end of the day, you still have to manage it, right? Like you have family, you
right.
have job, you need to balance both. How much ever you try to cut yourself off from two different personalities, it seeps in. It seeps in. So
So that gives also a little insight into that. It's not how in many professions there are some professions where you work alone, like a scientist, let's say, in his lab may work alone. What about you? While talking to you, definitely it feels it's a collaboration, but I would like to hear it from you. What kind of this and how it is.
yeah, so there is a mix of both. Though I collaborate with a lot of people, that is to get things done to do as a team and work as a team. So before you talk to people, there's a lot of research that happens. So a lot of things. At least I'm talking from my job that I do. That is individual. There's nobody around you. You need to put yourself into a box of a time or whatever and keep thinking, churning, understanding. questioning yourself, am I doing it right? Does it really help people? With nobody to interact with. It's just a screen and a wall in front of you that there's nothing else, right? There's a lot of individual focused work that happens. And once that is all solidified in your head and you know that you've kind of landed somewhere, is when you start talking to people about it. So that is a lot of individual work that happens where you have nobody to talk to because you don't know by yourself whether you're going there or not yet. So that is definitely that you work inside a cocoon sometimes.
So you would be also interacting with many people, across the company. Beyond your company, there are a lot of other companies whom you would be interacting with. Does that happen in your kind of scenario?
Sorry, your voice broke there. What was that again?
Is it audible right now?
Yes.
Yeah. What I was telling is that not only inside your own organization, there would have been a lot of occasions where you would have to interact with someone outside your organization, right? A different organization.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So do you find people there different than you, or there's something common which, a bridge which bonds the two of you and which helps the communication to happen? Have you observed that?
It's a very interesting question, actually. I had a lot of, I mean, for me, last 10, 15 years has been a lot of interaction with people outside my organization. So I used to travel a lot, meet people from different countries, go and talk to them. One thing that if I have to recollect, there are a lot of similarities because everybody's got something on their agenda as a tactical thing that they need to address. So for that, we are all aligned to the same principle or we're working on something technical. We are all the same. Everybody has the same kind of a behavior. But then there is this thing called culture in a company. Every company has a company culture, right?
Mm.
They have their values. They're supposed to do it this way. They're supposed to behave this way. They're supposed to handle things this way. Some of them have open culture. Some of them are like more closed or more strategic. So there they differ. Though they're trying to do the same thing, we are working on the same concept or same project, for example. The way they approach things are based on how their company sees it as a value or a culture that they want their employees to follow. So it is different. So we go from a company, we have our own company culture that we follow. But there are people from different companies that you interact with. They have a different culture altogether. So, for example, Microsoft is a huge, humongous monster in this. You talk to people there, they have a different culture altogether. Though they want the same thing done, the way they approach it, the way they talk to people, the way they organize the meetings, how they do it is completely different than any other company. Like, for example, we used to talk to a lot of Indian companies also, Wipros and the Tatas and all of those. There it's different. Every single company has a different culture that they have, but people working there, they have something similar to what we do, but they have the culture of the company also rubbing into what they are supposed to do every day.
Yeah. Thank you, Bharatji. Thank you for that question. Because how you interact with human beings within the same community is one thing, but
Yeah.
how you interact with the people from a very different community and understand the product development part of it.
Yes.
It requires upgrading your skills every moment, especially the communication and the soft skills which you're talking about already.
True.
I would like to ask you one fun question here.
Uh-huh.
The fun question being, we are from the generation where we used to, go to school, study, set agendas.
Mm-hmm.
So, in from your school time, you would definitely have a lot of friends. Do you have any friend you remember who was, let's say, backbencher, failure, not good at studies, but now is like top-notch successful guy? Do you have anyone of such kind?
If not for the last phrase that you mentioned, top notch, you're talking to one. I am a back.
Wow.
I barely scraped through all my exams. Is to manage to pass, get to the next level. So teachers looked at us, and I mean, we are a gang of six people. At least I'm going back to the engineering part of it. We are a gang of six guys. All the teachers that thought of us that we will never even land a job, but all of us have done really well. We have got to different places. A lot of people are leading companies. Some of them have started their own companies. So we have got there, though we were academically pathetic in the terms of what the yardstick that the teachers used to have. We were really pathetic. I mean, they thought they will not even see our faces in any companies. So that bad we were. But there were a lot of people who are front benchers, number one rankers. They've not done as much as we last benchers have in some places. But yeah, I have a practical live example.
That's very interesting. I was expecting opposite. I am a very studious one, but I have a friend who was, something like, but now I'll ask you the reverse question.
Hmm.
So now those who are very studious, rankers, they
Yeah.
are okay. They might have not done what you have done right now.
Hmm.
So what do you think the difference would be? Of course, I understand myself the answer to this. The clue is definitely the other skills. It's not only studies and ranks. It's the other skill which you acquire along the way, which helps you,
Yeah.
reach where you are. Anything else you would point out to what your ranker co-students would have not done and what you have done? Is there anything there you feel from your point of view?
I can I can actually, I mean, as you're asking this question, there's one person that is coming to my head. This was again in the job. That person is a PhD and he's a fellow in a company. He is the most technical person that I've ever met. Academically really strong. He knows stuff like nobody else's business. You talk to him about anything technically, he can talk about it for hours together. Gold medalist. He was
Wow.
ranked among the tops and all of that. But that guy, everybody hated to talk to that guy in the company because he did not know how to speak to people. He did not know how to articulate. Everybody knew that he knows stuff, but everybody felt like whatever this guy is telling is, I can't use the words, but people would not understand. It's like this guy is crazy. We can't talk to him. But he was
Mhm.
kept in the company. He was given a corner office. Everybody loves to have a corner office, but this corner office, nobody would love to go there. Nobody wanted to talk to him. The difference I see, though he was technically really capable and he made it because of his soft skills that he did not have. Though I think his entire focus in his entire academics was about becoming the best guy with the knowledge of what is there in the books and everything. But from what I see, that he could have been a lot better, or maybe he would have led that entire organization if he had the soft skills that was there. If he could speak to the people that he used to work with, nobody trusted what he said. No, I mean, what he was. Nobody would want to talk to him for more than 10 minutes, just then going and clarifying that doubt. He was like a technical reference book. Anybody has any doubt, go talk to him. If you understand what he's saying, go
Mhm.
come back and implement. The company kept him for that. But he was disliked by everyone. He was seen like that corner room, nobody go there. So that is how bad it was. Uh, but an amazing person, amazing human being. But the only thing that happened for him that didn't help him professionally as much in terms of interacting with people is that the soft skills that he was missing. So he could not talk to people. He was like, he had this single vision of being the academic best. I think that's what I read of it. But that's one of the examples that I could think of.
So what I hear from you is if you are too much technical or too much, let's say, how do you put it? You are missing the fun basically. If you're not what you are doing, you're missing a lot more fun which you could have
Yeah,
otherwise had.
so
Is what I would translate it to.
true. I mean, see,
Yeah, I would, Bharatji, I would last. Yeah,
if you
please go
just
ahead.
a last point to add there, when we were at least trying, I don't know how the thing that will happen further, but at least when in our generation, when we were trying to look for a job, if you had to get qualified, you need to have a certain percentage or degree of this one, right? The technical knowledge and the marks on your mark sheet would get you to a place, but after you get in there, from the time that they have the first interview, there used to be group discussions. There used to be people asking you to speak about something in the first round of interview, and a lot
Right.
of people who had highest percentage of ranking or whatever, they used to drop out there. The people who made it were who are average good in their academics but good in the other things, or people who had the best of both, 90% academics plus 90% in your
Mhm.
soft skills. They're the ones who could make it because every single job interview that I have been, we had a group discussion where you're supposed to talk to people, listen, articulate, and do things. If you don't clear that, even if you had 80% on your mark sheet, you are shown the door. So that is something that I see wasn't essential then. I think it is still essential because I do a lot of interviews with people. I think that will still remain essential and more essential rather going forward, because technology, people can do it now with tools.
Yeah, very interesting, Bharati. You are leading me into my next question actually. Tools, as you said, tools. I can you guess what the tool I would like to talk to you about?
Yeah, that's the buzzword now, AI.
Yeah, so yeah, what is AI and how much AI do you use? I mean, apart from how I use AI, editing the photographs, editing some videos, what do you do? Do you use it professionally? Is it possible?
Yes, off-grid I've started using a lot. Our companies have started using it a lot. A lot of companies have started using it a lot. And
Oh,
to a level where uh, Google came back recently in a statement. They said 30% of the code that is written today in Google is written by AI.
oh my goodness.
30% of it. And a lot of companies are doing, we are doing it day in, day out. Our engineers are using AI to make their code better, faster,
Mhm.
efficient. I am using it a lot to do all my research, to do all the things that I would take 4, 5 days to do it. I can now get it done in 30 minutes. So
Wow.
AI is, it's real. If you know how to use it, it's your friend.
So it is serious. It's
Absolutely.
not just, music and photo editing. It's not there. It's very serious business there with the AI.
Yes. Every organization is getting into it.
Wow.
And it's real. I mean, whatever you hear about what AI can do, it is real and it can do more than what you think.
That's interesting to hear, actually. So how long it has been since you've started using AI?
Frankly speaking, it's just been the last few months, let's say, heavily using it from the last 6 months. Knowing about it and using it not so frequently from the last 1 year, but the last 6 months, it's been heavy usage.
Maybe usage. So, I mean, you just go into the AI and just start using it, or there's some learning involved there too. Because, of course, AI gives you everything. But what is your part? What do you play as a
Yeah.
person?
As you mentioned, AI gives you anything. It is something that will never say no to you. You ask it anything, it'll give you anything. Unless you know what exactly to ask, how to ask it,
Hmm.
how to interpret it, it's of no use. So the learning that I had to do, as I mentioned, right, recently I had to learn something new. I was forced to, it was prompt engineering. And when I thought prompt engineering, because the term engineering, I thought it's going to be a lot of technical stuff that I need to learn. But what I learned from there is English, communication, how to speak,
Oh,
how to ask, how to frame a question. That's what prompt engineering is all about. Again, comes back to the soft skill. So the most powerful thing technology
exactly.
has is run by English communication. You don't need to write a piece of code. You don't need to know anything technical. All that you need to know is how to talk to it and get the best out of it. That's what I learned as a course. That was
Wow.
something I had to do. Looks like rain has entered the party and making the internet slow.
Yeah, I think there was a glitch from my side. Now, is it good now? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, it's a little choppy, but I can still see you and hear you. I thought it's me.
So, I if you talk about AI and then you told that 5 days of work can be reduced to just 30, 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there a fear, let's say I work under you,
Mm-hmm.
but now
Sharji, sorry, I lost your voice. Can you say something like, I can hear your lips move, but I can't hear what you're saying.
let me see if
Yes,
video,
now it's back.
yeah. So what I was saying, Bharati, you were mentioning that 5 days to 6 days of work can be reduced to merely 30 to 60 minutes of work using an AI.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say I work under you, and
Mm-hmm.
now you are extensively using AI for your work. What
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will start fearing. Oh my God, this guy is not making use of me. I mean, is that a real thing, or I am just imagining something here?
Not a real thing. See, what happens is, as I mentioned, we as a company have started doing it. So there are people in my team whom I work with, where I offload a lot of work. I have asked each one of them to also get trained and start using AI and get the best out of it.
Okay.
So it's not that they will be useless and they'll lose their jobs. No, because they are going to learn this. And if I am saving 4 days of work. If I have 5 people in my team, each one of them saving 5 days is what I'm looking for, because I want to make things faster and better. So it's 5 into 4 days that is saved. So if you look at it, do the
Wow.
math, which I'm really bad at. So that is the amount of time that we can save, which means each person is 4 times or 5 times better, stronger than what they were. When will that fear
Yeah.
begin? Is when you cannot learn, when you cannot use that learning and make make yourself relevant, is when that fear kicks in to people saying, I'm going to lose my job, because you are not learning, adapting, scaling to where you need to be.
Interesting. So again, if I translate it to a very layman's language, you need to be a learner. You constantly need to learn, upgrade, not only the skills which you use in the job, but also the soft skills, the major part of which is what is required to run a company, to work with various people, to work with various communities, and
Mm,
to develop products for people across the globe, not only for one community.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that brings me to an end. I would
There's
like
one,
to again encourage.
there's
Hello,
one question
is
in the chat.
yeah.
I think Nutama is asking, taking off from the answer, Balaji, could you please outline your growth professionally to us in the form of a describing how your first day at work were when you started and how it is now? What does a day at your job look like now versus then? Okay. So if I had to recollect the first day, I have a very candid memory of the first week. Not for the first day. First day was very fancy, right? I entered the office. There's a huge building. There's cafeteria, free flow of coffee, tea whenever you want, and now you have people around. You can walk around AC all the time. It was a fancy thing to enter into the world of a job, that you're getting an ID card and people standing outside your office asking if you want a credit card. Or that was a fancy day. But the college boy who got into a profession, I remember we used to go down to the basement in our office to start playing table tennis. And we thought, oh, yeah, this should be cool. So I finish at 5, go back and start playing TT. And then one of the days, my chief strategy officer, who parks his car there, he saw us and he walked me. I mean, he called me into his cabin the next day. He told, look, you guys are straight out of the college. It's good to have fun, but make sure that you've finished what job that you have been given, and then go have fun. So you'll not have people waiting on you, and at the same time you'll not feel bad that you're having fun and not doing your job. So he called and said that. I remember it very, very candidly. And this is what happened the first day. So there it was more of, somebody gives me something, they've told me to do this, I'll finish it. As soon as I'm done, I can go, I'm on my own. To what it has become today is, you have to manage, I mean, rather I have to manage a lot of people like that, tell them what to do. So it was more of I know somebody will tell me something, I'll go do it, versus understanding what should be done, why it should be done, who should do what, telling them what to do, make sure that they're doing it, following up, making sure that they're not burnt out, making sure that they're not lazing around. So it is changed, if I say 180 degrees completely. It's a flip from where it was to where it is right now. From very
Wow.
low responsibility to a very high responsibility, your brain doesn't switch off. Versus as soon as we went to the TT table those days, you're done. I mean, I'm done with my day. I can play TT happily. Versus now, it's not.
Anyone else would like to either ask, open the video and unmute themselves and ask, or otherwise you can put it in the chat box. Anyone? I think that is it, Bharji.
I hope I did not scare anybody about these things that happen in the job. For people who are looking for a profession in this field, it's fun at the same time. It's fun that everything that we do is fun. You work with a lot of people. You do a lot of new cool stuff. So it's both angles to it, and it is very close to reality. At least my job of what I do right now, you're building products, solving problems. It is something that still goes back to your daily life. It carries back here. So there's one more
Yeah,
question.
so we have a question. Yeah, we have a question from Lokeshwari.
If I want
Shivam
to,
Bharatji, can you tell if today I want to become head of product solutions, digital experience management, what skill should start practicing today?
okay, creativity. I just put it at that because it involves a lot. Creative thinking to say why not? If there is a problem or not, you need to think of why not? Why not do it this way? Ask that question, that creativity of how can I do things differently? How can I do things better? Why not? Why should I not do this? So that's all the question that has nothing to do with the technology. It's a thing that you'll need to, if you have to be in the product, it's all about critical thinking and thinking creatively. So all the millions of applications that we have in our app store, Play Store today, it's come because somebody thought, why not do this? So that is where it starts with the attitude of asking the questions, challenging the status quo, and thinking creatively and breaking the stereotype. I think that's what is the first thing that you need to look at and start. So the best way I feel to do is to get an exposure by doing small projects or maybe playing games. I mean, we do that, right? I mean, we have a lot of our children who play games today. When I saw them playing
Right.
some of the games in the setup in they have in Lila Gurukulam, I was like, this is so much close to what we do in our work as a day-to-day challenge. But these guys are learning these skills as a fun game, and they know it and they've aced it. When I speak to the kids, like they know how to play this game and they know each and every move. They know what it means. They've already cracked it. So if we have our kids who have played the startup and beyond, they can become CEOs of company. They can they can spin off startups because they've learned all that is required there on how to manage a business, how to manage revenue, how to manage your spending resources. They've learned all of those things by just playing one game, which is something that we have taken, I have taken 20 years to learn. So they've already prepared. I think that's one of the best ways to start. Get yourself exposed to as many projects as possible. Start thinking creative and critically.
So it's a very interesting point you put here. Basically, once you are creative
Hmm.
and you are sensitive to the gap which exists, let's say A and B, and you understand the gap between A and B, you can think of a solution, a product which you
Yes.
were talking about.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's how I understood product development from whatever little interaction I have with you right now. So yeah, before we close for the day, I would like to summarize what we have gone through in the past hour or so. So the takeaway point, the very, very key takeaway point from me was, you have to be a learner, a constant learner. A curiosity of a child is a very important aspect here, and it's not over.
Yeah.
You're never done. The exams are never over. I mean, if you look at it an exam, but the fun or the adventure or the challenge is never over. You have to be up for it every moment in your life, especially the job, because job is where it is more amplified and scaled. So yeah, and the communication skills, the soft skills. You want to talk to an AI or get a task done by AI. You need to have those soft skills, which
Yes.
AI understands. So yeah, Bharatji, with all this in mind, I hope any student or anyone who have joined this interview session would benefit from what you shared, and I definitely enjoyed it.
And
And
I mean,
yeah,
I think it's the first time that I'm speaking so much about my job to somebody of what I do. So it was I had fun talking about it. And if
thank
anybody
you, thank you.
needs to know more, I'm more than happy to answer the questions offline whenever. Yeah. Great. Thanks a lot, Sharaji.
Thank you, Bharatji.
And thanks for
Thank you
all
so
the
much. Thank you.
thought-provoking questions that made me think.
I hope I did not put you in the hard spot, dicey situations. So
Thank
yeah,
It was good, great.
thank you everyone.
All the
I
people
think
who joined.
yeah.
See you all. Good night. Shubham.